In the heart of a Roman arena in the 6th century, a small girl and her mother pleaded for mercy. Little did the crowd baying and booing know that this young girl would one day sit in the royal box. Today we will learn of how an impoverished young child will one day be the Empress of the Eastern Roman Empire. This is Knowledge Voyage. But before this video starts, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get all of our weekly videos about history. Thank you. In 500 AD, a young girl was born to a family of circus performers. She was one of 3 daughters, but would go on to be the most famous, and her name was Theodora. As a very young girl, her father died, and Theodora, her sisters and her mother had to appear before the crowds in the arena. Standing in the hot arena before the baying, booing mobs, they had one objective: to plead for the right to remain as workers at the arena. The green faction rejected her, but the blue faction, wanting to appear more merciful, agreed for her to stay on as a worker. Theodora grew up as a strikingly beautiful woman, but as a poor young woman in the seedy world of showbiz, she ended up becoming an adult entertainer. And so far, it seemed like all was playing sadly, predictably. A working class girl left without her father at a young age, being forced to sell her body to survive. But then, something would change. She was recruited as a spy, and sex workers then as now make useful spies, as they can move in seedy circles and overhear information most people do not. Theodora was spying on a powerful Byzantine governor in North Africa, and was obviously also sleeping with him. She passed on a message to the Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian, but when the emperor saw her, the spellbinding beauty of Theodora absolutely captured his heart. The crowd was scandalised, as was the court, and a number of wild denunciations were written about her, many of which are still available. But Emperor Justinian would have none of it. In fact, Emperor Justinian even changed the law to allow this commoner to marry him. Theodora may have been attractive, but beneath the looks was a fierce intellect, firm determination, and high political skill, and her imperial husband would soon need these. In 532 AD, Emperor Justinian and Theodora stood before the crowds in the arena, and were asked to grant clemency to serious criminals from the different warring factions. When this was refused, mass riots that were later known as the Nika Riots broke out, and the emperor considered fleeing the city. But Theodora would have none of it. She fearlessly refused to leave, and remarked, "May I never see the day when those who meet me do not call me Empress." Theodora stated she would never leave, no matter what, and even if she was to be killed by the mob, then the imperial purple would at least be her burial shroud. This show of strength and fearlessness dramatically changed Justinian, who decided not to flee, but stood his ground and ended up crushing the riot. Theodora's courage had turned the tide in his favour, but she made impacts on his reign in other ways. She passed laws banning the trafficking of young girls, and as a former sex worker from a poor family, she had a better knowledge than most of just how horrible this trafficking could be. She also backed religious minorities in the empire, protecting them from discrimination, and she also helped oversee the rebuilding of the city of Constantinople after the Nika riots, including the magnificent Hagia Sophia. In 548, Empress Theodora died after a short illness, but her legacy was immortal. She was a courageous politician, a powerful reformer for the rights of women, and a protector of religious minorities. In fact, in the year 2000, 1500 years after her birth, Theodora was proclaimed a saint, and fittingly, she was proclaimed a saint in one of the churches she had helped to found and protect. This woman, a poor fatherless girl forced to sell her body to live, had gone on to be empress, and now this former sex worker was a saint. This was quite the rags to riches story for the girl from the arena, and her name, Empress Theodora, will echo forever. Thanks for watching everyone, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, thank you.